Bhagavad Shankaram Lokashankaram Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. With the abundant blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, we are continuing with our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita with the commentary of Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada. We are in chapter 9, Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yogam. He said, Bhagavan said, Jnanam as well as Vijnanam, I will teach you, the highest knowledge, the most esoteric, the most secretive knowledge. So, Bhagavan made it clear that he is the only all-pervading presence. And he is the one who creates, sustains, and dissolves all this creation in time with the help of his ever-present Shakti Maya. Now, when it came to Vijnana, he said there are many methods of reaching Paramatma. Some of them were already covered in the previous chapters. Now, here also he is covered further. How to meditate, what to meditate on, etc., he has covered. In this context, he started explaining some of his glories. And in the context of attaining Paramatma, classes of people were identified. Those who perform yagas with the sole intention of reaching Swarga will do so, but they will not attain Paramatma. Those who perform yagas, same effort, but with the intention of attaining Paramatma, will reach Paramatma. So, continuing on this thought, on those who perform yagas with the intention of enjoying pleasures in Swarga, Tetam bhaktva Swargalokam vishalam shine punye martyalokam visanti evam trayi dharma manuprapanna gatagatam kama kama labhante. They, those people, which people? Those who perform yagas with the intention, with the desire to enjoy pleasures of Swarga. Tam vishalam Swargalokam bhukta. They enjoy bhukta. They enjoy that huge Swargaloka, vishalam Swargaloka. Tam, that Swargaloka. Which Swargaloka they wanted to attain, which is referred in the previous sloka. Vishalam Swargaloka. After enjoying, this enjoyment lasts only up to the time when you have enough punya to your account. Once the punya reduces, you have to come back to earth. Shine punye martyalokam visanti. Shine punye, as the punya starts decaying, reducing. Martyalokam, the world of humans. We are known as martyas because we are subject to mrityu. Visanti, they enter this world of humans as soon as their punya comes down. Evam trayi dharma manuprapanna gatagatam kama kama labhante. Evam, in this manner. Trayi dharmam anuprapanna. Trayi dharmam, the dharma expounded in the Vedas. Dharma expounded in the Vedas here with special reference to Karma Kanda, where yajnas are described in detail in Samhita as well as Brahmana portions. People perform yagas as stipulated in Vedas. So, Trayi Dharmam Anuprapanna, follow it. Those who follow Vedic stipulations and perform yajnas, etc., Gatagatam Kamakama Labhante Kamakama. They have desires. Kamam Kamaha. Those who desire desired objects. Kaman Kamayante iti Kamakamaha. Those people who have desires in their minds, so in order to fulfill their desire, they go to Surga. Gata agatam labhante, gata agatam, going and coming, this kind of to and fro. This kind of to and fro between Sargaloka and earth takes place. They never go higher than that. Gatagatameva na tu swatantriyam kvachit labhante iti arthaha. Swatantriyam, independence. This kind of bondage is also a bondage, isn't it? Saints describe this kind of bondage as golden chains. And bondage because of papa, due to which we have to go to Naraka, and not or really, and we have to come back to earth and take lowly births, animals, etc. That is bondage of iron chains. Now, this is bondage of golden chains, but bondage is bondage, whether you are bound by golden chain or whether you are bound by iron chain. That is not freedom. So, Adi Shankara makes it clear. Natu swatantriyam kvachit labhante. They never attain independence. No kind of independence they attain. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Very famous celebrated shloka which comes almost in the middle of the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita. Central part. Now, the earlier shloka was with reference to those who have only desires in their mind, material desires. They don't have desire to attain Paramatma. Now, on the other hand, coming back to jnanis who have only Paramatma as their goal, ananyaha chintayantaha, they don't think of anything else. Apridhak bhutaha param devam narayanam atmatvena gataha santaha. Apridhak bhutaha, they don't think they are different from Narayana. Param devam narayanam atmatvena gataha. Paramatma, they think that he is present inside them as in the form of Atma. They are convinced. They always meditate on him. That is ananyaha chintayantaha. They don't think Paramatma is elsewhere at a long distance. They don't think they are different from Paramatma. Ananya. Ananyaha chintayantaha. Ye janaha mam paryupasate. Those people who worship me. Ye janaha sanyasinaha. He is adding, Shankara is adding. Because only sannyasis will be capable of fulfilling this kind of stringent requirement. It doesn't mean that grihasthas cannot attain that status. Grihasthas also have been called sannyasis in the broader sense of the term in earlier chapters. Those who have completely lost their desire for fruits of karma. So that is the reference here. Tesham nitya abhiyuktanam. Those people, ye janaha paribhasate, those people who worship me in this manner, tesham, of those people, nitya abhiyuktanam, how are they? They are ever attached to me. Nitya, ever, eternally. No break. Abhiyuktanam, yuktanam means attached to me. Abhiyuktanam means it's a higher emphasis. At no time their union is lost or decayed. Abhiyuktam. Tesham Paramarthadarshinaam Satatabhiyoginam. Tesham Paramarthadarshinaam. They have only Paramartha in view, the highest goal, moksha. Satatabhiyoginam. Nityabhiyuktanam, he is translating as Satatabhiyoginam, always attached. For them, Aham Yogakshemam Vahami. Their Yogakshema I carry. Vahami means to carry a burden. That is called Vahanam. That is why Vahanam is called because it carries the burden. The root Vah means to carry. In fact, Vivaha also comes from the same Udvaha, Vivaha, marriage comes from the same root. It is each carries the other and they carry the Grihastha Ashrama, dharmas of Grihastha Ashrama. So, Aham Yoga Kshemam Vahami, I carry the burden of their yoga and Kshema. What is yoga? What is Kshema? According to Shankara. Yoga apraptasya prapanam, Kshemaha tadrakshanam. What you don't have, if you get, that is called yoga. What you have got, if you are able to preserve, that is Kshema, Yoga Kshema. Now, what is the context in which he is making this statement? He is making this statement in order to assure everyone that those people who have completely forgotten themselves, their material requirements, their bodies, their dependents, they don't have any sense of all these things. If they are, who will look after them? Their material, mundane requirements. I will look after them. So this is the context. Now, Adi Shankara is raising a beautiful question in this context. He says, that means Bhagavan will carry the burden of Yogakshema only for those jnanis. For others, he doesn't care. Is that the meaning? He is raising the question and answering. Anu anyesham bhavitanam Yogakshemam vahati eva Bhagavan. Satyam, yes, he does carry that burden. Vahati eva. Kintu ayam visheshaha. There is one qualification. Anye ye bhaktaha te atmartham swayamapi yogakshemam yihante. The other bhaktas, they also make their own efforts for attaining their yogakshema. So Bhagavan's effort is only secondary. Primary effort is by the bhaktas themselves. Ananya darshanastu na atmartham yogakshemam yihante. Ananya darshanaha. Those who have no other goal other than Paramatma, they do not put in any effort for their own personal yogakshema. Nahi te jivite marane va atmanaha vruddhim kurvanti. Whether they die, whether they live, they don't care. They don't care even for their lives. Kevalam eva bhagavat charanaha te. Their only refuge is Bhagavan. Ataha Bhagavan eva tesham yogakshemam bhagati iti. Because their only refuge is Bhagavan, they don't care for their bodies, whether they die or live. That is the kind of commitment to their search for Paramatma. So, who will look after them? I will look after them. But in the case of ordinary bhaktas, yes, I do look after them. But because they put in their efforts, my efforts are only supplementary. He is not saying he will not look after us. That point is being clarified by Shankara. ते तं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालं क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्ना गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जनाः पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम्. He has been saying always Mam, Aham. Now, that is Paramatma. Now, what about those people who worship other devatas. What is their position? What is their state in this discussion? Now that question is being taken up. Epi anya devata bhaktaha yajante shraddhayanvitaha. Epi bhaktaha, those other bhaktas, anya devataha shraddhayanvitaha yajante. Yajante, they worship. Yajante actually, direct meaning is perform yagas, but in a general sense, they worship. They worship Anya Devataha. They don't have Paramatma in view, they have other Devatas in view. We have seen before, like Agni, like Indra, Varuna, etc. Why you go to them? Because you have specific desires. Saraswati will give me knowledge. Lakshmi will give me wealth. So like this, we have certain predisposed ideas. So he is talking about that. Shraddhaya Anvitaha. This is very important. Shraddha is very important. Faith. Even there, when you go to those devatas, you should have faith. Yes, you will get what you desire by worshipping them. In that case, tepi mameva kaunteya idanti avidhipurvakam. They also worship me only. Tepi mameva yajanti. Even those who worship other devatas, they worship me only. They worship Paramatma only, because there is only one Paramatma. There are not many Paramatmas. So if you worship some Devata for a certain fulfillment of certain desire, then that worship comes to me only. But what is the difference? Tepi mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Their worship is not exactly as per rules. Which rules are they breaking? They are not breaking any rules. If you are worshipping Lakshmi, you are worshipping Lakshmi as prescribed for Lakshmi Puja. If you are worshipping Saraswati, you are worshipping accordingly. You are not breaking any rules. That is not the point Bhagavan is making. Avidhi purvakam, avidhi ajnanam, ajnana purvakam yajante. Because their view is narrow. That is ajnana. What is ajnana? Ajnana is considering body as everything. Seeking desires connected with body, Atma, Anatma, Vivekam, which we have been seeing right from chapter 2. Their attention is to Anatma, their attention is not to Atma. That is the main difference. That is ajnana. Because they worship other devatas, they get their fruits. I only give those fruits. But their desire is not for Atma, their desire is for Anatma. So that is Ajnana Purvakam. Avidhi Purvakam is Ajnana Purvakam. Sarvatmattvena mam ajnatva madbhinnattvena vaswadin kalpayatva yajanti. This is Anandagiri's explanation. Without knowing ajnatva, that I am present everywhere. I am the Atma in all beings and I am present everywhere. Without knowing this, Madbhinnattvena Vaswadi, thinking that Vasu and others, Vasu, Rudra, Aditya, and Yajna, these are devatas being. So the context is always Yajna. So Vasu, Rudra, Aditya, those devatas, as if they are all powerful, without bothering about Paramatma, Madbhinnattvena kalpayatva yajanti, thinking that they are different from me, they go and worship them. That is the meaning. Aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhurev cha natu mam abhijananti tatvena taschavanti te. Whichever yajna you do, whichever devata you worship, everything comes to me. Aham hi. Sarva, he with emphasis. I only. Sarvayajnanam, all yajna. Sarvayajnanam covered everything. Shrauta yajna, smarta yajna, and yajna in a wider sense, puja, parayana, whatever. All worship. Bhokta cha prabhureva cha. Bhokta means enjoyer. You are dedicating this yajna to some devata. That may be Vasu, Rudra, Aditya. But that comes to me only. I am the only enjoyer. They are my representatives, but the enjoyment comes to me. Prabhu, which I am the Lord. I am the one who supervises the whole thing. I am the Lord. Shrautanam, smartanam cha sarvesham yajnanam devatattvattvena. For all yajna, whether Shrauta yajna or smarta yajna, I am the Atma of that Devata whom you are worshipping. Adhiyajna, he said earlier in the beginning of last chapter, he said Adhiyajna. So all yajnas are supervised by me. I am the Lord of all yajnas. So Adhiyajna amevatra. So that's Shankara is referring in this context. Another commentator says, Bhokta Devata Rupena. That Devata whom you are worshipping, I only have taken that form, so I am the enjoyer. Prabhu Antaryami Rupena, Phalapradatru Rupena. Prabhu means the Lord, the Master. The Master who supervises you is one thing. Secondly, I am the Antaryami of you who are performing this yajna. I am the one who is the controlling Atma inside you. Phalapradatru Rupena. Having done this yajna, you are looking for the fruit. Who is going to give you the fruit? I am only giving the fruit. You are thinking that those devatas are giving the fruit. They are only my manifestations. I only give their fruit. That is why Prabhu. Phalapradatru Rupena. न तु माम् अभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेन अतः क्षमन्ति ते. What is the problem now? Problem is they don't recognize this fact. न तु माम् अभिजानन्ति. Tu means on the other hand. Mam na abhijananti. They don't recognize me. They are not conscious of me. That is the problem. Tattvena ataha khavantite. They know me. It's not as if they don't know Paramatma. Who doesn't know Paramatma? Everyone knows. But tattvena, the truth, which he has been pointing out all this time, Atma, Anatma, etc. That tattva, that reality, that truth. Tattvena na abhijananti. In reality, they don't recognize that. Ataha avidhipurvakam ishtva yagaphalat kyavanti. Hence, as mentioned in the previous sloka, avidhipurvakam, not in accordance with the rules. They perform the yajnas. Then what happens? Yagaphalat kyavanti. Kyavanti means they slip. They kyavanti, he says, no? Tatvena na mam avijananti. Ataha, hence, they kyavanti. They slip. They slip means they allow the fruit to slip from their hands. Having put in all efforts, the fruit, when it is going to come to you, you allow it to slip off your hands. What fruit? Attaining Paramatma. You will get the other fruit which you had in mind from the Devata whom you worship. He's not saying no to that. But a bigger fruit was awaiting you. You have lost it. Yaga phalate khavanti. From the fruit of yajna, you are you are deprived of that. You are allowing it to slip off your hands. Yepyanya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhipurvakam aham hi sarvayajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhijananti tattena kyavanti te. Yanti devavrata devan पितॄन् यान्ति पितृव्रताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्य yanti madhyayinopi mam. Now he is making it absolutely clear beyond any doubt. If you are interpreting the previous slokas in a particular manner, he is not going to allow that. The interpretation is absolutely clear now. Devavrataha devan yanti. Those who have been keen on worshipping devas, they will attain devas. That is, if you want to go to Surya Loka, yes, you will go to Surya Loka, because that's what you wanted. But you will come back. Yanti devavrata devan. Pitruvrataha pitrun yanti. Some people, or so much wedded to their forefathers. My father, I cannot take my memory of my father. I cannot take my memory of my grandfather, my grandmother. Oh, she was so much loving. So this continuous attachment, when you perform Shraddha, etc., you want to join them. That is Pitrivrataha. Those who worship Pitrus, particularly while performing Shraddha, etc. Yes, they will go to those Pitrus. Pitrun Yanti, they will go to those Pitrus. Agrishvatadin Pitrun Yanti Shraddhadi Kriyavaraha Pitrabhaktaha. Pitrus are Pitru Devatas are seven according to Shastras. That is what he is saying. Agrishvatadi name. Agrishvata and others. Agrishvata is sort of thief among these seven in the Pitraloka. So you will go to him. You will go to that loka. You will see Agrishvata. So Pitrun yanti Pitravrataha Bhutani yanti Bhuteja. Those who are in a lower category, they worship Bhuta, Preta, Pishacha, etc. Those there were people, maybe there are people even now. I think there are, yes. Those who believe in minor siddhi. I can tell you what is there in your mind. There are people like that because they have some Shudra Devata, as they are called, coming and telling in their ears. So they know. Then you think, oh, he has got great siddhi. He has been able to forecast what I had in mind. I did not express. But this is the one of the lowest forms of attainment which is being contemptuously mentioned in all Shastras. That is what he is also coming to. Bhutani yanti bhutejya. Bhutejya, those who have been worshipping this kind of goblins, bhutas, preta pishachas, they will go to them because you have been worshipping them. There are lots of stories in the past how people who worshipped bhutas, at the end they repented because they could not get out of the clutch of that bhuta. This is the problem if you go to uh, this kind of worship. You can't get out of the clutch of that devata. So the devata will chase you. So when these people want to get out, they are not able to get out. Those devatas even come and kill them. And then they attain a lower status. They may become one of those group, Yakshini, etc., etc. Bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti madhyajanopi mam madhyajanaha api mam yanti. Now comes the crux. Those who worship me, they come to me. Those who worship other devatas, they go to those devatas. Those who worship Pitris, they go to Pitraloka. Those who worship the Bhutas, they become Bhutas. Those who worship me, they come to me. Yanti Madhyajinopi Mam. Here, as usual, Shankara is adding a very telling comment. Samane api aya. This comment he made earlier also. Now he is reconfirming. Samane api ayate mameva na bhajante ajnanam. They put in the same effort. Effort is the same. Because of ajnana, they don't worship me. Tena te alpapalabhajaha bhavanti. Hence, they become eligible only for restricted fruit, small fruit, alpapala, instead of the huge fruit which is awaiting them with the same effort. They have lost it because they didn't have a proper jnana. Because of their ajnana. Problem is ajnana. Everywhere the problem finally comes to ajnana, ahankara, not knowing what is atma, what is anatma. Finally, you have to end there. That is what Shankara is doing. Because that is the major theme of our whole Shastra. Patram pushpam phalam doyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupahritam asnami prayatatmanaha. Whoever gives me, yo mam bhaktya prayachati. Bhaktya is important. Everywhere there is a specific clause. You see, that is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. The statement appears simple, but there is a clause. That clause is Shraddhayam Vitaha, he said in the previous sloka. Without Shraddha, you will not get that fruit also. Shraddha is basic. Similarly, Bhakti is basic. You may offer Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. Patram is leaf. Pushpam is flower. Phalam is fruit. Toyam is just water. You may offer any of these. You may not offer a big Naivedya. You may not be able to offer a big Naivedya. But Bhakti is important. Yo me bhaktya prayachati. One who offers me with devotion. Any of these. Tat aham bhakti bharatam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Look at the clauses he is putting with no deviation. He never deviates from these clauses. That is that offer. Aham ashnami. I eat. Ashnami means I eat, I enjoy. He doesn't eat our naivedya, which means he enjoys. He blesses. Ashnami should be taken as blesses. He blesses us, he blesses the naivedya. What kind of naivedya? Bhakti upahritam. Again, bhaktya prayachati, bhakti upahritam. Offered with bhakti. There also he is bhaktya prayachati. He is emphasizing. Bhakti upahritam. Who is offering me? Prayatatmanaha. Prayatatmanaha means the one who is putting effort to attain me. Prayata. Prayata means yatna, putting effort to attain his Atma. Atma here can be interpreted in two ways. One is the mind, another is Atma. That means his mind is making all efforts to attain the Atma. Prayata. Shuddha buddhe. Hey, Shankara says, his buddhi, his intellect is pure. When it is pure, it is attached to Atma. That is the Prayatatma. If it is not pure, it is attached to Anatma. I want this, I want that. That is Anatma. Now, Ashnami Ashanavati Pritya Svikritya Tripyami. Madhusudana Saraswati says. As if I am eating, I am satisfied. I accept it, I am satisfied. Patram, Pushpam, Thalam, Toyam. Scholars give examples so that we understand. Some of the examples given by scholars. Patram is leaf. Is there anyone who offered a leaf and got this benefit? Yes. The story of Draupadi is being mentioned in Mahabharata when Durvasa came, when these people were in the forest, came for lunch, and he went for a bath. And because the rule of Akshaya Patra they had was that if the last person had taken the food, it will not give any more food on that day. This was the rule. Akshaya Patra was given by Surya to Pandavas for their daily food requirements. So when Durvasa was going to come after a bath, then Draupadi prayed to Krishna. Krishna came there. He said, bring that vessel, and he found a small leaf, green leaf, attached to the vessel, and he ate it, and then Durvasa never came because he was filled to the brim. So all hunger left him. So he said, if I go there and if they offer food, how can I eat? So better to run away. We ran away. This is the story. So that is the story being mentioned in the case of Patram. Then Pushpam. Pushpam is flower. Gajendra offered a flower even when he was in dire misery, caught by the crocodile. He had a lotus flower. He threw it at Bhagavan's feet. That is Gajendra's offering. Salam, fruit. Shabari, offered fruit. We all know. She was waiting and waiting and waiting for many, many years for Rama to arrive. Finally, when Rama arrived, every day she was doing it. That is the funny thing, interesting thing. Every day she was all prepared for extending her hospitality to Rama. Every day she was expecting Rama. She didn't know when he would arrive because Matanga Rishi had told her, he will come one day, you be prepared. And then Matanga Rishi left. So which day? No, nothing is known. So every day is the day when he should be expected, Rama should be expected. So she was all prepared with fruits, etc. So that day when he came, she offered fruits. Then toyam, water. This is very interesting. Who offered water and got moksha? There is a story of a king called Rantideva in Srimad Bhagavatam. A stage came when there was complete famine, no food, no water for everyone. And whatever he had given among his subjects and his friends. And finally, somehow he got a little bit of water, one glass of water. He was suffering from thirst and hunger. At that time, when he was about to drink water, a Chandala came. She was also very thirsty. He said, I need water. That water, which was the last drop, which was available with Antideva, he gave with full happiness, not indifferently. Attitude is important, no? Shraddha. So he gave with full honor to that Chandala. He said, you take, your thirst is very important, you are my guest. And that Chandala turned out to be none other than Bhagavan. Bhagavan showed him darshan and gave him moksha. The story is there in Rantideva. So, न केवलं मद्भक्तानां अनावृत्तिलक्षणम् अनन्तफलं सुखाराधनश्च अहम्. That is the point he is making here. The commentator makes this point very nicely. Point is, if you have devotion to me, me bhaktya prayachati. Not only you get the highest fruit, anavritti lakshana. You don't return to earth, moksha you get by offering this patram pushpam phalam. Not only that, sukharadhanasya. I am easily pleased by offering patram pushpam phalam and toyam. You don't have to make elaborate arrangements. That is the telling comment made by the commentator. So he says, the offering is simple. The attitude is what is important. That attitude, bhavagahi janardana, Shastra says, Bhagavan looks at your attitude, your what you are offering. That is the point he is making here. Yanti devavrata devan pitran yanti pitravrataha bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti madhyajanopi mam patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti pahritam ashnami prayatatmanah yakaroshi yadeshnasi yajuhoshi dadati yat tapasyati kaunteya tatkurushvamadarpanam. So he is coming to the teaching. So, oh Arjuna, hey Kaunteya, what does all this mean? This only means whatever you do, you dedicate it to me. That's all, simple. Whatever you do, you dedicate it to me. That is Karma Yoga, which we started with in chapter 2 and 3. We have come back to the same concept, but in a different context. So here he is making it absolutely clear, clear beyond any doubt, what he is expecting from that bhakta whom he mentioned in the last sloka. Bhaktya prayachati. It is not just patram putpam phalam toyam. He, at the time of puja, he offers and then he forgets Bhagavan. He is not talking about that kind of people. He will not give any fruit to that kind of people. Because they are not able to offer anything better, they offer that, like we saw in the examples we saw. So, now he is coming to the the crux of the teaching. The crux of the teaching is Yat karoshi, whatever you do. Yat ashnasi, whatever you eat. Yat juhoshi, whatever puja you do. Whatever worship you offer. Yat dadasi, whatever you give in dhanam, in charity. Yat tapasyasi, whatever tapas you do. Tapas means controlling the sense organs and meditating on Bhagavan. That is tapas in simple terms. Tat madarpanam kurushva. Tat means all this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 items they are mentioned. All these 5 is covered by tat. That. Mat arpanam kurushva. You dedicate it to me. Don't expect any fruit other than me. That is a vital point. Don't expect any fruit other than me. Dedicate it to me. Hey Kaunteya. Now here, doing and eating, first two, or normal activities without which a man cannot live. You cannot live without eating. You cannot live without doing. These are most mundane activities. So even those most mundane activities you should dedicate to me. Because the food you eat is myself. That food you got because of me. That food you are able to eat because of me. That food gets digested because of me. So everything is him. Why is the question of attributing any ownership or the fruit to yourself? This attitude, he is referring to that. So whatever you do, whatever you eat, then that Yuhoshi, Dadasi, Tapasyasi, these three are very important according to Bhagavan, because I mentioned earlier also, this comes frequently in Bhagavad Gita. Yajñodanam tapasyaiva, pavanani manishina, he is going to say. These are purifying for humans, which these three, Yajñaha, Danaha, Tapaha. Yajna, Yaga, or any worship. Dana, charity, Dana is defined in greater detail in a future chapter. That means Dana is not any charity you give at any time to anyone. That is not Dana. Danam as per Shastras, to worthy persons at the right time, at the right place. That is Dana. Otherwise, it is not Danam which is being talked about here. So, Yajñodanam tapasyaiva. Tapas. Now, tapas. Tapas he is defining very nicely. Tapas is torturing the body. That is tapas. The word tapas means tapa means heat. Heating up the body by performing tapas in the open, subject to elements like old tapasvis have been doing. Torturing the body, not caring for the sense organs. Entire attention being diverted to Paramatma. That is tapas. So, whatever you do in that direction, that is the highest level of tapas. Whatever you do in that direction. Upavasa, for example. Today is Ekadashi. So, that is also tapas. So, all this tapas, all the dhanam, all the charity, all the yajna which you do, should all be dedicated to me. Tat kurushva madarpanam. That you dedicate to me. Yate tava prana svabhavavashat vinapi shastram avasyam bhavi gamanachanadi. Yatya shastravashat avasyam bhavi homadanadi. Laukikam Vedikam cha karma anyenaiva nimittena kriyamanam. This is the detailed explanation given by Madhusudana Saraswati. What he says, Prani Swabhava Vashat, because you have taken a human birth, human body has got certain nature. So because of that nature, for example, hunger and thirst. Vinapi Shastram Avashyam Bhavi Gamanashanadi may not be covered by Shastra, but it is essential for the body to move along. Like Gamana Ashanadi, like eating the food, like going here and there, because without going here and there, you may not be able to get the food. He's talking about Bhiksha and other things. So, that activity also you dedicate to me. Gamana Ashanadi activity, you're going here and there and eating. That is not necessarily as per Shastra. That is what he covered in the first two. Second, Vetcha Shastravasat Avashyam Bhavi Homadanadi. Because of Shastra, the stipulations of Shastra, you perform Homa, the Yajjuhoshi. You perform Dana, Dadasi Yati. Avashyam Bhavi Homadanadi. Laukikam Vaidikam cha karma anyena iva nimittena kriyamanam. Any Laukika karma, any mundane karma, any Vaidika karma which you do, anyena eva nimittena, maybe for some other reason, maybe motivated by some other purpose, maybe you have to do it under those compelling circumstances. Even then, you dedicate it to me, whatever may be the circumstance, whatever you do. So that is what is being clarified here very nicely. Shastrat ritepi ragat praptam gamanadi. Even it may not be as per Shastra. You may be going somewhere because of your particular desire. Ragat praptam gamanadi. Even that you dedicate to me. Then the fruit will not get attached to you. So this is the kind of explanation given. So this means, see, in our culture, that is the beauty of our Sanatana Dharma. In fact, without knowing all these details, our culture, even from our childhood, has been teaching us to attach all our activities to Bhagavan. That is the beauty of our Sanatana Dharma. When you wake up from bed, say this shloka. When you go to bed, say this shloka. When you go to office on the way, if there is a temple, have darshan of that Vinayaka. Like this, everything. If you sit for food, think of Bhagavan before eating the food. When you cook the food, offer the food as well. These are all natural daily occurrences which have been taught to us as in the course of our culture without any special teaching. That is the beauty. Music, dance, fine arts, literature, everything is Bhagavan oriented in our culture. That is the beauty. There is nothing which is purely mundane, purely sense pleasure. No, sense pleasure is there. Sense pleasure is not left without being covered in our Shastras, but it has its place. But the all the activities are governed by our subservience to Paramatma, our devotion to Paramatma, and our devotion to others around us, Paropakara. This is essential feature of our culture. So that is what is being covered in this shloka. Now, if you look for instances, any number of instances are there. If you take Subramanya Bhujangam, for example, it says, let my ears hear only your glory, let my eyes only see your form. So this kind of mention is there in Shiva Stotra, Subramanya Bhujangam. It is there in Mukandamala. It is there in all stotras. Whether anyone has done, yes, there are many, many examples given in our Puranas. I will take one example of Ambarisha because it is very common, very well known from Bhagavatam. And today being Ekadashi, that his whole story is with reference to Ekadashi. So I remembered that. So Ambarisha was a king and he was a great devotee of Vishnu. And how was his Ekadashi story, etc.? Let it come later. But before that, what was his attitude? That is being described in several shlokas in Srimad Bhagavad. Vasudeve Bhagavati Tad Bhakte Tucha Sadhushu Prapto bhavam param vishwam yenedam loshtavat kritam. His devotion to Bhagavan Vasudeva and his devotees, Tad Bhakteshu Sadhushu, other sadhus, other devotees of Bhagavan, he always thought all of them as Paramatma. Prapto bhavam param. He thought of all of them as Paramatma only. Vishwam yenedam loshtavat smritam. Idam Vishwam loshtavat smritam. All this world, that too he was a king. All this world around us is nothing but a piece of stone. Loshtavat. No value. Will anybody care for a piece of stone? So I don't care for all this comforts of Raja. सवै मन कृष्ण पदारविन्दयोः वचांसि वैकुण्ठ गुणानुवर्णने करौ हरेर्मन्दिरमार्जनादिषु श्रुतिं चकाराच्युत सत्कथोदये. This is the beginning of the shlokas, which are 4-5. First shloka is this, describing his activities. First earlier shloka was about his attitude, how he looked at Bhagavan, how he looked at the world. Now, what was he doing? Savai mana Krishna padaravindayoho. His mind was always concentrating on the lotus feet of Krishna. Vachamse Vaikuntha Gunanuvarnane. His words were always detailing, Anuvarnane, detailing the attributes of Vaikuntha. Karau Harer Mandiramarjanadishu. His hands, what was he using his hands for? Vishnu's temple, going and cleaning, watering, cleaning, etc. King, mind you, the king, the emperor, like Rama, he was also an emperor. Shrutim Chakara Achyuta Satkathodaye. His ears, what was he using for? Achyuta Satkathodaye. All stories of Leelas of Achyuta, listening to them. So this is how further shlokas are also on this line. That is the attitude which is being referred to in this shloka. Shubha-shubha-phalairevam mokshite karma-bandhanaihi sannyasa-yoga-yukta-atma vimukto mam-upayishyasi. If you take up this attitude, which was mentioned in the last shloka, whatever you do, you dedicate to me. Evam, evam is important. In this manner, if you do, Shubha-shubha-phalaihi karma-bandhanaihi mokshase. All the bondages of karma, karma bandhas, all the bondages of karma, all karmas have a quality of binding and they have the quality of giving you fruit, shubha, ashubha phala, auspicious fruit or inauspicious fruit, punya and papa. Punya and papa lead to shubha phala or ashubha phala. Shubha ashubha phalaihi karma bandhanaihi mokshase. You get relieved by doing this. That bondage of karma, which was leading to auspicious and inauspicious fruits, you were completely released. Sanyada yoga yukta atma vimukta mam upeshyasi. Sannyasa yoga yukta atma. His mind is ever attached to Paramatma and he has left all mundane attachments. Both the points are mentioned in this phrase. One phrase covers both. Sannyasa, he has left everything attached to the mundane world. Yoga, ever attached to Paramatma. Yoga Yukta Atma. His mind is ever attached to that Paramatma. Vimuktaha. So, because of this condition, he becomes completely released from bondage. Mam upayishyasi. He reaches me. There is no doubt about that. Sannyasascha asau mat samarpanataya karmatvatu yogascha asau iti. Sannyasa does not necessarily mean a sannyasi. Our attitude is what is being referred to here. Mat samarpanadaya, because you have dedicated whatever I said in the last sloka, you have dedicated to me. That is sannyasa. Then, what is yoga? Karmatvatu yogascha asavyati. By doing all what I have told you, that is yoga, because you have attached yourself to me. You have left the fruits and you have attached yourself to me. That is sannyasa karma, yoga. Vimuktaha karmabandhanaihi jivaneva patitam cha asmin sharire maam upaishyasi. This is the explanation given by Shankara. Jivaneva, even when you are alive, even when you are living in this body, karma bandhanehi mokshase, you are relieved from your karma. This is called a jivan mukta, one who is released even while possessing his body. Patite asmin sharire mam upeshyase. Once this body drops at the end of the prarabdha karma, the body will last as long as your prarabdha karma is there. Prarabdha karma does not get burnt in the fire of jnana. We saw that. All other karmas get burnt. Prarabdha karma, which was the starting reason, cause for this body to take shape, to take birth, that has to run its course. It will go run its course till the end. So, when the body drops at the end of the prarabdha karma, you will certainly come to me. Even when you are possessing the body, you are a jivan mukta. When you have dropped the body, you will certainly come to me. यत्करोषि यदश्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत् यत्तपस्यसि कौन्तेय तत्कुरुष्व मदर्पणम् शुभाशुभफलैरेवम् मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः संन्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो माम् उपैष्यसि समोऽहम् सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु माम् भक्त्या मयिते चाप्यहम्. Now this will lead to another question. See, all questions which will be there in your mind, he preempts those questions. Bhagavan preempts those questions and answers. He raises those questions and answers. That's the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. So in the last shloka, he made a condition that jnani who does all this, he comes to me, etc., etc. What about others? That means I am partial to those jnani. I have decided not to give moksha, any relief to others. Is it the fact? No, that is not the fact. What is the fact? He is telling the fact. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha aham sarvabhuteshu samaha. I am equanimous in my attitude to all beings, not only all humans, sarvabhuteshu. Whether it is the insect, because he has given moksha even to animals, we know that. So, I am open to all, equally open to all beings. Me na dveshyaha asti na priyaha asti. There is no one whom I hate, there is no one whom I love. That means there is no special liking or attachment or hatred in respect of any living being on my part. That is made very clear. I am equal. Ye bhajanti, then what is the difference which you mentioned in the last shloka? You said you will give moksha to those people, you are not giving to some people. That shows partiality. Yes. Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayate teshu chapyaham. There is one distinction in this. Though I said I am equal to all living beings, one distinction I have got to make. What is the distinction? Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. Those who worship me with devotion. Here bhakti should be as usual. Bhakti in all cases should be understood as jnana. We saw that. Saswarupanusandhanam bhaktirityavidhiyate. That definition we should always keep in mind. So that means these people are jnanis. They worship me with devotion and they are jnanis. For them, mayite teshu cha api aham. Te mayi. Those people are always in me. They are always in me means what? Because they consider their Atma as myself. They don't consider their body. Their body is of no concern to them. They consider only their Atma, and their Atma is Paramatma. They know that. That is their jnana. So, they Mayi, they always live in me. Teshu cha api aham. I also live in them. They live in me, and I live in them. This is this concept was mentioned earlier also. Now, this is a reiteration of that concept. Now, Shankara gives a beautiful parallel here. Agnivat aham. I am like Agni, fire. Durasthanam yatha agnihi sheetam na apanayati. Samipam upasarpatam apanayati. If you are in a cold climate, like Delhi, like the northern cities during winter, you light up a fire for relieving yourself of the cold. And if you are going close to the Agni, that Agni will release you from the cold. But if you are sitting 1 mile away from that Agni, what will Agni do? Agni will not be able to relieve you from the cold. That is the example given. Yatha Agnihi Sheetam na apanayati durasthanam. If you are sitting at a distance, it cannot give you the relief from the cold. Samipam upasarpatam apanayati. Those who sit close to the Agni, they will get the relief. Tatha aham bhaktan anugrihnami na yatarane. Similarly, I give special blessings to those bhaktas, to those jnanis, not others. Ye bhajanti tu mam Ishwaram. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya, he says, no? That Shankara is explaining. Ye bhajanti tu mam Ishwaram bhaktya mayite swabhavataha eva na mama raga nimittam vartante. It is not as if I am specially attached to them. By my nature, I am just as the fire is by nature giving you relief if you are close to it. Similarly, by nature, I am close to them. I am in them. Mayite. Mayite teshu. Teshu cha api aham. Te mayi, teshu cha aham. I am in them and they are in me. Because of Namama raga nimittam. Don't say that I am specially attached, I am partial to them. No, I am not partial. This is my nature because they are devoted to me. Teshu cha api aham swabhavataha eva vartena itareshu. Similarly, the second point. Mayite teshu cha. 2 points are there. Similarly, I am in them, they are in me by nature. I am in them also by my nature. Nayatareshu, nayatavateshu, dveshaha ama. This does not mean I have hatred for others. This shows that they have attained unity with me, others have not attained unity with me. Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayite teshu chapyaham. We stop for today. We continue tomorrow morning, 7 AM IST, Sunday. Any questions?
Kindly unmute and ask questions if anyone has any questions, please. Seems no one has questions.
No one. Okay, fine.
Any questions?
No. Okay. So we meet tomorrow morning at 7 AM IST, Sunday. Namah Parvati Pataye Har Har Mahadeva Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Govinda Govinda Sri Raja Rajeshwarya Jaya Jaya